Hey y'all, it's Natalie, and I am here with another acrylic stash bust, a series I do with my friends Nicole and Jennifer and Jessica. And I am scrapbooking some more in our vacation album from Seattle and Alaska where we went on a cruise. I have these cool cut files from A Cherry on Top. They are like latte cups, and I made this title with my Cricut. I just picked out a really neat font. I'll try to remember to put the link to the font down below. It's called Cool Beans, or that's not what the font's called. I'm sorry. That's just what I made with the font. It says Cool Beans because it's a coffee theme layout. And I'm going to use this really cool wooden flare kind of thing that I've been hoarding in my stash for a really long time. And it's going to be like an emblem on one of the cups. But right now I am slicing away the inside of a couple of the cups because I'm going to use them to frame my photos. So the photos are going to be in actually the shape of the cup, which I think is kind of fun. I'm going to have one picture of Heath with his frappe in one of the Starbucks that we visited on vacation before we got on the boat. And then another is of him at Pike Place Market where he is standing in front of the original Starbucks. There's always a huge line. And of course, we were not about to stand in that. So he just stood in the street and got a picture of the sign behind him. But he is always like, can we go Starbucks? Can we go Starbucks? Although recently we got some Dutch Bros around here. So he does intermingle that request in with Starbucks. But I am using that Cedar House collection you see over there on the left. I've been using that for the Seattle pictures because I feel like it has a really cool grungy feel. There's my flare. It says, heck yeah. That's from Not Just for Boys Kit Club. And I'm going to spice it up with some embossing powder. I think it's going to be really cool. But I just think that's a fun thing to have on this like protein layout that he loves his quote coffee. I mean, so I'm going to use this really cool chevron stencil. I'm using my favorite matte white texture paste through the stencil, and I'm just kind of like putting it in a messy way above and below where the photos are going to go and the line of cups. And then I'm also going to mix it in with this grid one. And so I think that I was really happy with how these layered bits of texture paste with one another with the grid versus the chevron turned out. I'm really happy with how that looks. Just a little bits here and there, not even directly all across. It took me, I'm not a less is more kind of gal, so it's taken me a long time to figure out less is more. Not always, but sometimes. And sometimes for mixed media, less is more. So I'm using this Distress Spritz Spray. Oh, say that 5 times fast. It's the Salvage Patina, I think, but it shows up really nicely on black paper. You can see right there, it's kind of already drying quickly, but it has a really nice shimmery shine to it, which is fun as well. And so it'll sit on top of that black paper and show up, and then it'll also sit on top of some of the texture paste. I did let the texture paste dry before I started splattering, and then I also went in with some white splatter, and that's my just my linen spray from Dilutions. So that's fully dry now, and I'm going to start kind of laying things back. So I cut 3 different size cups, I think, out of a few of the different pattern papers. And so you have that one, which is kind of like, I don't know, magazine edges or something that brings the color in. And that's the same one that I use to cut these words. So I'm inking up the words with the black Distress Soot ink to help them pop off of the white cardstock background, but I am going to let them dry before I stick them down because I don't want them to mar the white cardstock. What you see me doing here is just snipping off a little bit of the black cardstock, and then I'm going to layer up 2 of those pattern papers along this snipped off bit and at the top on a spot, and it just brings the color from inside of the page to either of the edges of the black cardstock and kind of brings a little interest to that edge. And so, I didn't add like a whole border or anything. Roughed up those edges of that layered bit. And I'm really happy with how that turned out. So that you can see like the magic behind the page there, me sticking things down. I don't use a full sheet or anything, just enough to cover the bit that I tore away, and so to make it 12 by 12. So there I am with my Wow embossing pen, and I'm just coloring in the lines of the heck yeah, and I'm gonna put a turquoise powder on top of that, and then I'll go through again and some of the squirrels and squirrels, that is not the word, swirls, and do like a red one, a red powder to kind of match the colored paper that I put, the pattern paper from the Cedar House collection. Could have done a lot of different things with this. Could have done some clear glitter on top. I don't really know. You could have done a lot more outlines, but I'm happy with keeping the wood grain because I think that goes with the grunge a little bit. A lot of the papers in this collection are wood grain. So I think that, again, makes it go with the grunge and everything. So I was cool with keeping a lot of the background. And it looks burnt, because it's wood burnt. Oh no, I'm going to rip my die cut here when I'm putting my adhesive on it. But, I'm sticking it straight down onto the page. So I just, make it look like, I keep saying, sorry about that. You might not know. I keep making it look as though it never even happened. Serve Pro that mug, right? And that bit, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I don't know what's wrong with me today. I ran out of paper. My die cut machine it ran off the page. So I just covered it up. The little bit that didn't cut out properly, I just stick the photo back on the top of it. And so I'm just trying to figure out here how I want to position the title. And then I almost forget about my heat embossed wood grain piece. So I have to move that photo over and stick it onto the cup as I intended originally. That was the whole idea of the page, was to stick that medallion on the cup sleeve. And I pulled Icon Ephemera out from the Cedar House collection as well. Lots of little hipster things like bunnies with antlers, very circa 2012. But you know what? I'm fine with it because that always reminds me of like grungy old Mumford and Sons. And guess who's coming out with a new album this year, y'all? Check out my friends down below. I am sorry this was so chaotic. I hope you enjoyed it though. I love the way that the page turned out. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'd love it if you'd like and subscribe. Y'all have a great day. Bye, y'all.